We're back.
Oh my
goodness. Did you ever think this time was going to come?
Well, I didn't think I would be here, first of all.
Chrissy, welcome to Talk, Listen, Change.
Thank you so much.
Oh my goodness, ladies. We are back. It has been a full year.
Yeah.
A little over a year.
I think the last episode that you did was in May of 2019.
Well, in May of 2019, no, you mean 2018.
No, 2019.
That's right.
It's been a year.
I forgot when I had my baby.
You have mommy brain, so it doesn't.
Oh my
you can
goodness.
say anything and it's okay.
So it's 2020, and in May of this year, I had a baby.
Yay!
His name is Rowan, and he is just the light of my life. So last year in May, for those of you who have followed us for a while, I did a post in our secret Facebook group, kind of just talking about my IVF journey and how we were going to be taking a break while me and Andrew, expand our family and just kind of go through that whole process and move into our new house. That's where we are right now. That's been a trip. And Chrissy has been really busy this past year.
This house is literally a full-time job.
Full-time. Like, nobody believes us, but this is every day is something new. So had a baby, moved into our new home. We're all going through a pandemic, so that's fun.
No, it's not fun for anybody.
But in the beginning of this year, kind of, during lockdown, and I mean, here in Vegas, the casinos shut down in March. And that was really crazy because casinos don't shut down for no one.
No, and this entire city is run on hospitality.
Right.
And that's everything that was shut down.
Everything was,
yeah.
And it was so surreal. But thankfully, we were moved into our home for the majority of my pregnancy, which was really nice. So that, I can kind of, in some way, relax, although that wasn't what was happening. I'm thinking just because, I used to live in a high rise, and so I couldn't imagine being stuck in a high rise because, the gyms were closed. The strip was closed here in Vegas, and that's where Andrew and I used to live. So moving here had its pros and cons during a pandemic, but here we are. Ladies, we're so excited to just come back full on to TLC, reconnect with you ladies. For those of you who do not know us, my name is Christal Fuentes. I'm the founder of theladiescoach.com. We started The Ladies Coach in 2013, and really it's just a platform that we wanted to do for women all over the world to help them with their life and relationships. And that's what we've been doing for the past, I can't count because I have mommy brain.
7 years.
7 years. Thank you.
Thank you for having me
That's
for the
why
majority
I
of
have
it.
Chrissy
I'm so excited.
And so Chrissy Cakes, I call her Chrissy Cakes, Chrissy. She is the creative director for The Ladies Coach and also my personal life manager. I feel just what's really cool about our dynamic is we're very alike in many.
A little too similar. Some people think that we're the same person.
Same person or sisters. There's actually a funny story with that. So we had a gardener come to our house, and Chrissy answered the door and is handling all of it. And then I come back down after I put Rowan to sleep. I come back down just to see what's going on and just kind of meet with her. And Andrew was like, "Oh, hi. So this is my wife, Christal." She's like, "I know. I met her. She opened the door for me." I'm like, "No, that was not me."
Wait, also our hair. I used to have black hair 2 years ago, but I've been going lighter and lighter. So I'm like, our hair is totally different colors now.
Yeah.
I still don't know how people think we're the same person.
Well, Andrew can't tell.
I know.
If I get, I could dye my hair pink and he'd be like, "I don't know what
the gardener was a lady, though.
That's true.
So I'm just saying.
That's true. So really in this past year, well, since even with TLC, Chrissy has always been, managing me. She's like, I call her the logistics queen. She facilitates our life, and it's pretty hectic.
It's a trip.
To say the least. but she does it with such finesse. And I am always just in awe of her brain and how she kind of, just how she organizes everything and how she works everything. Also, what I love about, everyone loved our episodes together, but what I love about you being here now and a part of this show is that you can bring such a different perspective to our ladies, in different stages of life. Yeah. And I'm kind of growing in the mommy stage and trying to figure that world out. And obviously we're going to talk a lot about relationships here, but I feel like both of our perspectives will help a lot of the ladies who are watching.
And I think what's interesting is we do think very similarly about everything, whether it's money, relationships, anything really, politics, everything.
Yes.
But like you were saying, because you're going into motherhood, marriage.
Oh, that's another thing. That's another thing we're going to do.
We're not going to get married.
No.
Things change.
Change.
And I'm just trying to figure out how to be an adult woman, almost 30 years old.
No, I think you figured it out.
In a pandemic.
Yes. Oh, and hearing
dating in a pandemic.
That is something we're going to talk about.
Oh, no.
So stay tuned, folks. Coming up, you're going to hear Chrissy's dating stories. That's another thing, getting married. I know we've talked a lot about our stance with marriage, and it hasn't changed, but that's something that we'll definitely talk about. Andrew and I did get married. We had a little small private ceremony in our backyard. Chrissy found an officiant.
He was so cute.
Yes.
He loved was adorable.
Him. They were in and out in 15 minutes, which is my dream.
Then we had cinnamon rolls.
We had cinnamon rolls and Prosecco.
Oh, what else do you need?
I mean, nothing else.
No.
So that's changed. Again, our stance, if you guys haven't seen a video that I did, which was, things to think about before getting married, because, our stance for a while is, marriage for us, the act of signing the marriage license wasn't really that important to our life. It wouldn't have made a difference. It does make a difference in a lot of people's, just depending on your situation. Exchanging vows and the ceremony, the beauty of what everybody thinks of when they think of getting married. That, marriage is beautiful. We've always looked at ourselves as married, just not legally. And that wasn't something that was something we wanted to do. Since we've had Rowan and our financial situation has changed, and, just kind of thinking of the future, logistically, it just made sense. And, that's something that we wanted to do. So legally, we are now married.
Do you feel like you guys rushed into it, though, a little?
I think so. I'm kind of having second thoughts.
It might have been too soon. 10 years, I don't think is enough.
Yeah, I think it's a little too soon. I wouldn't advise anyone to rush into it. But Andrew and I did 10 years later. And we're still married. It's been 6 months. Almost, right?
Wait, June. No, June.
Okay.
I can't do math
5
right
months.
now. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, also, we're on video now.
Yes. So ladies, obviously if you're watching this, hi. For my ladies who are on iTunes, check us out on YouTube. I personally like watching people talk.
If I have an option between video and audio, always audio.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, no video.
Video. Yep.
I can't talk.
Unless we have to do things, then it's, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted to make it easy for all of our ladies and entertaining, because a lot of us are stuck at home. So here we are. We just wanted to come here face to face, shoot the shit, talk about things that matter in your life. If there's any way that we can help, that's what we're here for. As we were discussing before, last year we took a break because I was going through the IVF process. And what I found out after I made that announcement was so many women coming forward about the process.
Yeah.
Just asking questions on just emotional, how to deal with the emotional impact of that process. Shame.
Yeah. I think when you Google IVF, you're looking, or what comes up is pricing, medical things. You don't get the emotional aspect or the toll it takes on your relationship.
Right.
So you're just getting the medical side of it.
Yes.
So this is nice for people to know.
And I'm not an expert by any means. I mean, I went through it.
Yeah.
So I have the experience and I'll share my experience, but I just want everyone to know, regardless where you are in making this decision to, you and your partner, or even you by yourself. I have girlfriends who went through the IVF process by themselves. They wanted to be a mom and it was beautiful. Regardless of where you stand, that it's very different for every single person. And so what I want to do here is just really, one, answer some of the topics and questions that our ladies sent to us.
Yeah.
And really just help you navigate the emotional, because it can be draining emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally, all of the things. And so I want to in some way try to help you. Chrissy was with me through that whole process.
I felt like we were a lesbian couple, and
we're a partnership.
I'm your husband.
Yeah.
Like,
you're my wife.
A sub-in husband. Well, yeah, wife.
You are my work wife for sure.
Yeah. And I took you to your egg retrieval, I think.
Yeah.
That was a doozy.
No, you really are my wife.
I know.
So Andrew was out of town. How convenient. So for my egg retrieval process. So for those of you who don't know, let me just kind of back up. The last 2 years, Andrew and I decided, you know what? Maybe we want to start a family. Oh. That wasn't something that it was, in our vision at first. But, as we've lived our life together and just, doing our thing. After so many years, we were just finally like, maybe we can add something to this. Nobody tells you what that something is and what that does to your relationship, but that's neither here nor there and not in this episode. So we started actively trying. And when I say actively trying, literally just,
doing it.
Doing it. Trying to check the ovulation calendar. Probably didn't do a good job.
Did you track your ovulation?
I did.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I did.
For how long?
I did it for 3 months. And then, so there's a bracelet, and I can link it down below. There's a bracelet that you wear. So usually when you're tracking your ovulation, you're taking your temperature, in the morning. But there's a bracelet that I was wearing. I think it's the Ava bracelet. I might be wrong, so don't quote me, but I'll have it down below. So the Ava bracelet, pretty much you wear it at night, and it tracks your basal temperature.
Oh.
So then when you wake up, it tracks it on the app. So then you can see when your basal temperature goes down, that might mean you're ovulating. Then you can take the ovulation test and then check. Didn't work for me. So, from then, we weren't in a rush or trying to make it happen. So when I say actively, it's just we're doing it.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to stress about it. Once we came to last year, that's, in the beginning of last year, we went to Australia. We did our event there.
Oh,
can we talk about that for a second?
That was so fun. And meeting everybody.
Oh my gosh. Ladies, all my Aussie babes, thank you so much for that event. That filled our soul. We were so excited and just living life when we came back. And then that was when, I promised Andrew, I was like, okay, I'm going to go through all the tests and start this whole process because we were ready for a kid. So did all the testing. In our situation, there was really nothing wrong. You know, they check your fallopian tubes and your uterus and, the uterine lining and all of that good stuff, and just kind of make sure that you're good.
Yeah.
Do all your blood work, and that takes about 2 months. And everything was fine. So we could have continued as we were, but we were ready. So we decided to do, there's IUI, which is when they kind of inject the sperm.
Oh.
So they inject his sperm into you, so it's just basically like you having sex, but
that's
it's
like what
just
everyone says,
more.
the turkey baster.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, I'm not really refined in talking about this. I'm not like an expert. So, just talking about my experience.
But if I I like to learn from people that are experiencing it and can tell me about something
Right.
in a way that I can relate to.
Right.
So I actually appreciate this more. And I've always been curious. And I've always wondered about freezing my eggs as well.
That's another thing that I got a lot of people, asking. It's a good insurance policy, especially if you're not sure. Some ladies are like, I don't know if I want to have a kid.
I don't.
But I'm getting to the age where maybe I want to start freezing my eggs.
I
just
am.
As an insurance.
I'm like, no, I literally don't know if I want to have kids.
Yeah.
I also don't think I've been with anybody that I've never dated anyone where I'm like, I would love to have this person's baby. And that might change.
Yeah.
And I can't say. But there's also so much pressure getting into your 30s and being single, and then your clock's ticking. And I've never felt like my clock's ticking, but people tell me that it is.
Right.
So then I'm like, should I worry about freezing them?
That's something that irritates me to no end. Ladies, this is the thing. Like, there's nothing wrong with you. And I know that especially for women who have gone through, and we're going to talk about this, women who've gone through this process several times. I just want you to know where you are right now is where you are, and there's nothing wrong with you. And I think a lot of families put pressure on you. And there's a lot of modern women who are like, I don't know if I want to have a kid.
No.
I don't know if it's in the cards for me, and I'm happy. Is it okay for me to be happy without kids? Yes. You don't need kids to be happy. In fact, we need more happy people in the world. And if kids are not in the cards for you and that's not something you want to bring into your life, that doesn't make your life less meaningful. So I just want to start there. But for the ladies who are like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're thinking about this process. So the process is you're going to do all these tests. They're just going to check where you are. They're going to check your partner or if you want a partner, they're going to check you just to make sure everything is good. They're going to take your blood work. They're going to, do a genetic screening. They're, going to they're going to do they're going to test your fallopian tubes, which is where they stick dye.
Yeah.
Insert dye into your fallopian tubes just to make sure there's no blockages. They're going to check your uterine lining just to make sure everything is good there. If everything is good there, or if they see something else, they're going to talk to you. They're going to talk about the plan based off your personal health. If everything is good there, they're going to give you 2 options. Well, 3, continue as you are. If you don't want to freeze your eggs, just go back out in the world. And if you find a partner, there you go. Or, IUI, if you do have a partner and you want to go that route, which is pretty much, them just assisting you, putting his sperm or your partner's sperm inside of you. And or IVF, which is we will literally do everything.
Yeah.
You do the egg retrieval, which is them going in and taking all your eggs. And then a lot of ladies will stop there and they'll just freeze those eggs. Or if you have a partner and you guys are ready, they will put their sperm, mix it with the sperm.
It's so crazy.
We did the PGS testing, which is the pre-genetic screening. And then from there, they will pick the best embryos. And then you have embryos just frozen there. So Rowan was frozen for about 3 or 4 months.
Oh, he's so cute.
Oh my gosh. And so it was just such a crazy process. From there, once your embryos are frozen, then you kind of prepare your body again. So, you're doing hormone injections again, to get your body ready and your uterus ready for the implantation. Before that, they're checking your uterine lining again. And so the first time I tried the implantation, they thought they saw, a shadow in my uterine tissue, and they thought it was a polyp or just like a fibroid or something like that.
Were they worried that it was cancer?
They did, because they said it wasn't the right formation and consistency of a polyp, but they're not for sure until they go in. So they kind of put you to sleep again. They go in and just kind of take the camera and just feel around and just see what it is. So they stopped my planned implantation for that month, for me to, and then I had to wait another month because you kind of have to go through when you are ovulating, for them to kind of go in and really see what that is. So they went in, nothing was there.
No, it just
Freaked me out.
disappeared. It literally disappeared.
Freaked me out.
You're thinking you have cancer for a month or something's
Yes,
horribly wrong with you.
The doctor was a little
Cuckoo.
Didn't make me feel like
Reassured.
yes. I was a little scared. And so then I have to wait another month. I remember we went to London, and then I came home early so I can start the whole process again, which is all the injections. They checked my uterus again. And then now when they saw the shadow, they knew that it was nothing. So then they proceed. And from there, you're waiting. Once they do the implant, it's like 2 seconds, literally. You have to go in with a full bladder. I was about to pee my pants.
Why do you have to have a full bladder?
For them to really see the uterus and where they're placing the embryo.
Yeah.
So we're waiting there. The actual me waiting there was longer than the actual process itself.
That's wild.
I know.
Wow.
It was really, really cool. And you can see it on the little screen when they drop it in. And then from there, it's the waiting game.
Oh, to see if it took.
Right.
How nervous were you?
Oh, it was, the first, because it's 10 days, I believe, until you take a pregnancy test. The first few days, I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
You stay home. You're just binge watching shows. Haven't done that in a full year.
No, that's your dream right now.
Yeah. And you're just playing the waiting game. And then 10 days are up. You go take a pregnancy test. Now, that was crazy because go to take the pregnancy test. They usually get back to you right away. And I'm like waiting all day. The office is like about to close. The office closes.
No.
Nobody's getting back to me. And I'm just like, okay, good. Are they scared to tell me that I'm not pregnant? Like, just let me know. So we call the office like 10 times. They didn't get back to us. They're like, okay, we'll give you a call back. So then I'm like, okay, they're like really not wanting to
give you bad news.
Yes. Right. So, so then finally my doctor calls me from home.
Oh.
Because it's late. Me and Andrew went to go have dinner just to because I was getting all anxious. I was a mess. And then we got the good news. And I just remember we were in downtown Summerlin. If you are familiar in Las Vegas, it is a mall.
Wolfgang Puck?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Yep. And we were walking around the corner. Annie called us, and I didn't want to take the call. And so Andrew took the call. And it was the best news I ever had.
Oh.
I know. And then now we have Rowan. Can you believe that?
No, I never wanted children. I thought they were kind of gross. I've also never been near them that much. Like, I haven't seen a baby every day of my life. Mm-hmm. And now, you had a baby. I was actually nervous how our relationship would change also.
I mean, it's changed, I feel.
I don't actually feel like it has,
our relationship, but our life has, right?
Like, it's gotten more hectic. We don't have as much time to spend together as friends.
Can we talk about that,
We have zero time to spend together as friends.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to explain it. No, my affection towards you is still the same. I don't feel like my relationship with you has changed.
No, I feel like what people, Chrissy, because you're like my family.
Yeah.
And you're like in our personal life.
No,
like
if I don't know one secret, I'm upset.
Like, all of my secrets.
If I don't know everything that's going on, I'm like, what did I do? Something's wrong.
Oh, God, please. I feel like, just, especially with our lives changing and me being a mom now, it is crazy to see how you've adjusted.
You think?
With this life. I feel like our relationship has always been the same. But just to see you, I don't feel like you missed a beat when I brought him home from the hospital. I feel like you instantly were just swooped him up and just it's almost like we're all raising this child.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? And so it's I don't think, and it's so crazy because you hear what ladies or moms always say is get mom friends. And I'm like, I don't subscribe to that. I want my friends if you're a mom or not. because it doesn't change the relationship. The relationship changes, but like your friends step in. Even if your friends don't have kids, your friends step in. And I feel like you don't know if you want kids. You didn't know if you ever liked kids. But from the time I brought him home, I just remember you like swooped him up.
Yeah, you guys, no, you guys come in. Well, you were a mess. We can talk about that later. So I understood. So you're like, I need to go shower, like get my life figured out. Then Andrew, I've never taken care of a baby in my entire life. Fresh from the hospital. I'm like waiting for you guys to get back. Andrew just goes, here's the baby. Can you watch him? I'm going to shower. I'm just like, what do I do? I'm like, please don't cry. Please don't cry. Please don't cry. I don't know what I'm going to do.
He was so little.
I have so many pictures. Oh.
He was so little with so much hair. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, if you guys are interested in my birth story, it's something that it took a while for me to heal from. And I'm still kind of going through that process. It's not really something I want to share on YouTube.
Yeah.
But if you are interested, I'll do a solo episode and we'll talk about it. Because I know a lot of ladies, are still grieving their birthing experience. And that's exactly what I experienced. And we can go into that further if you want a solo episode. Comment below. If you are on iTunes, hit up our show notes on theladiescoach.com. Let us know if that's something that you're interested in and what questions you have. And also share your experience if you're so willing. I mean, it's something that I don't think gets talked about too often because I think you're told, well, you should be grateful. Like, look, everything's...
You have a healthy baby.
You have a healthy baby. And I think that those are two different entities. Like your birth is one experience and the experience of your child is another. You don't have to, and I felt what I felt was extreme gratitude.
Yeah.
And extreme grief at the same time. And a lot of people were like, well, you can't be grateful if you're experiencing, any of these anger, sadness, all those things. But it was the first time in my life where I was in two different worlds, experiencing both. So, and I think a lot of women can relate to that. If that's something you want me to talk about, I would definitely love to and open up to, our core ladies, or gents, if you're watching this and you have a partner that's kind of going through that. But I want to do it on a solo episode, and it'll probably just be audio.
So subscribe if you're watching on YouTube then.
Yes.
So we had some questions from Instagram.
Okay.
About IVF.
Am I allowed to drink on camera?
Yeah. People just don't gurgle. Although ASMR is pretty in. I just had a thought. We were all sitting outside one day and Andrew's like, we were talking about the baby, and then Andrew's like, don't worry about it. He's like, you have 10 more years that you can have a baby. He's like, I was researching it. I'm like, thanks. I feel so much better now.
I love the way you what's it called?
Imitate. It's a baby voice. I always do a baby voice.
Anytime she imitates Andrew, it's like a happy baby Buddha. Because that's like who he is. He's just like this.
He lives in his own world, but I'm jealous of it and I admire it.
Right.
Yeah, because he's like, Chrissy, don't worry. I was reading an article, you have 10 more years and you can have a baby. I'm like, okay, good.
Thank you, master researcher.
Dr. Roble told me, so now I'm going to sleep okay tonight.
He is the same guy who we were getting something notarized and we had a notary coming to our house.
Oh my God.
And this boy shows up playing Catan online on his iPad, does not put the Catan down while the notary is there. He is full on playing Catan while he's getting important documents signed.
No, and the notary says to him, he goes, are you winning? And Andrew goes, not really. Not really.
Oh my gosh. Oh, me and Chrissy just get a kick every day.
Stories.
It's just
now I'm thinking of all these stories. Okay. Well, now I have questions too.
I guess we're going to have questions now.
These are from me. I'm making up questions now.
Okay.
What would you say are the hardest physical and then the hardest emotional aspects to going through IVF? Physical, I could guess.
Right. I think everyone focuses. I mean, I guess a lot of people talk about the emotional. I mean, you're getting pumped full of hormones. Emotionally, there's a lot of things happening. One, it's uncertain, right?
Yeah.
You're taking on this journey, which takes, if all goes well, only like a few months out of your life. But it's a few solid months of not going anywhere. Every other day going to doctor visits, getting poked and prodded, your uterus being checked, getting put under so that you're, so they can extract eggs. You're doing injections, like hormone injections. Your partner doesn't understand, even though you both are on the same page of wanting children, if your partner's not going through it, your partner does not understand what you're sacrificing.
Yeah.
And so emotionally it can feel alone, but you're not alone, and I feel like it's hard to articulate that you feel alone or, express it in your relationship. But just know that you're not, this is just a normal experience and your partner wants to be there. I think the best thing for your emotional and physical well-being is to make sure that you both are going in it with a solid game plan. I see partners, one partner's in and the other partner is checked out. It does not work, especially when you're going through so many changes. Just physical changes, emotional changes. You're looking at your life and your vision and what you're doing. And you want to be on the same page. Again, if you're doing this on your own, make sure you have a support system. I think the best thing for any woman who's going through IVF is, obviously make sure you're on the same page, but then also get, you're going to be sacrificing at least 3 months of your life. Create a healthy ritual. So at night, 7 p.m. was my timed injections. I took a shower at 6:45. I turned on soft music that just made me feel good and just at peace. I lit some candles. I poured some lemon balm tea. Lemon balm is one of my favorite teas. It's just so calming. It calms your nervous system, which is one of the teas I recommend for any woman, especially if you're going to be going to sleep. Calms your nervous system. And then before my injections, right, because I had it timed on my phone, and then as soon as it started, I had everything laid out so that when it ding, that's when I started my injections. But before that, I had about 2 minutes as I was waiting for the alarm to go off. 2 minutes of me connecting to the energy that I felt was my child. Yeah. And when I tell you, this sounds woo-woo, don't care. When I tell you, now that I know Rowan, that's who I was connecting to. I've connected to that energy. So here's the thing, again, you don't have to believe this, but here's the thing. You want to make space for this new child that's coming in, because when you're doing IVF, there's so much that's uncertain. Your body is playing a role and you have to almost just let go of that control. And it's hard for a lot of us women. A lot of us modern women are doing so many things and have control over so many things. And this is just not something you have control over. And a lot of us feel like failures when it doesn't work out. Even if you're not going through IVF and you're just trying to have a kid, you feel like a failure if it doesn't work out. This is something you have to let go of, and you have to create the space. Connect to that child that you want to bring in. And when I say this, it's one of the most important thing, because I was given that advice from a podcast episode we did with the founder of Edible Goddess. And she said, when I was talking about, us wanting to have kids, this is before the whole IVF thing, she said, you really have to create space. Yeah. A lot of us think we are, but we're not, You have to create space for this child to come through. And what is it that you're going to give to this child? Not what this child is going to do for you. What do you have around you that you're going to create for it? What experiences, what life are you going to give it? Talk to the energy. So I did that every single night, just speaking gratitude and just connecting and connecting and connecting. And that's something that, even when I'm putting Rowan down, I feel like I'm still I still, without even talking to him, I still am trying to like telepathically like give him messages. Anyways, because that's what I was doing. And so that was my ritual every night. And then I would do the injections and I would clean up and then go watch the Kardashians. That was like my every night. I knew that I wasn't going to do anything. I wasn't going to do any dinners. It was just, that was my nights, you know, for the first 14 days of doing injections. You just stay at home, create a nice ritual for yourself, and really, you know, the biggest thing is just connecting to that energy, only because it's like, what are you doing this for? It could get taxing. It's taxing emotionally, physically. You're going to doctor appointments all the time, but you lose sight of what you're actually trying to create.
I think it's also scary because it's not 100% guaranteed thing.
Right.
Like you don't know that it's going to be a success. You're putting in all this time, energy, money.
Yeah.
And it's like an emotional thing that you're doing, and then it's not guaranteed that it's going to work.
So true. And that's the thing that it's hard to, you know, get, because a lot of women are like, we've done it. You know, me and my partner have gone through this so many times. You know, we really want this child. We're at the point where it's like we're wanting to give up. And here's the thing. I couldn't even imagine. You know, I want to say that I'm blessed for the experience I had. It was tough, but the experience I had was relatively easy compared to the stories that I hear from my ladies.
Yeah.
And so I want to say that, first of all, I couldn't even imagine what you're experiencing, but you're already a mom. You know, the moment that you choose to have a child, regardless if it's, you know, naturally or with a little assistance, you're already a mom. So connect to that energy in whichever way that energy is going to come through, it's going to come through. And when you look at yourself in that way, you're already consciously and subconsciously creating space for that to come through. You know, a lot of ladies in the end, you know, say that once they started making space and they know that this process wasn't working for them, you know, they felt that the space was open for adoption. Do you know what I mean? And that's always an option. But most of the time, I feel like, you know, I think a lot of ladies put too much pressure on themselves. And there's a lot of shame with it, depending on your background and culture and what, you know, how families make you feel like.
Were you guys planning on waiting to tell people that you were doing it? Or did you wait to tell anyone?
I feel like you were pretty open. I was pretty open. I was already going through the process. And then I just started telling people. Once I started doing the injections, I couldn't really like, you know, at night, I'm not like hanging out with my family or anything.
Yeah,
they're
like, where are you? You're like, just shooting myself in the stomach.
Just poke myself in the abdomen, okay?
Wait, speaking of injections.
Yeah.
Okay. She had a leftover Everly Well test, which, if anybody doesn't know what that is, it's like an allergy test.
Wait, this is
I also don't think it works, by the way, because it just told me I'm allergic to almonds. And I'm allergic to shellfish, and that didn't come up. So it's a little suspect. I don't trust it. But to get your results, you have to prick your finger and then send in your blood on these swabs. Christal's having to shove like a giant needle into her stomach, and I'm sitting there like a baby. I can't even do the prick on my
I mean,
finger.
that's pretty intense too.
No, but I'm like comparing the two. Like, you're shooting yourself with hormones, and I'm like, I can't even prick my finger. So I literally had to have you prick my finger and then inject yourself. And they're crying over a finger prick. So I'm just really supportive.
You were.
No,
I mean, you were cute. You were crossbar. I mean, you were there throughout everything.
Yeah.
You were there also when I was injecting myself in the ass.
I'm there for the stomach, the butt, the whole shebang.
Everything.
The whole shebang.
She was my number one supporter. But yeah, so my advice to all parents, you know, if you are on the path of, you know, looking to become parents and mothers, you already are. So just start looking.
I like that. I think what's interesting too, well, you're talking about shame. I think it's becoming more common and people are talking about it more.
Yes.
Even celebrities, I think, I want to say like, I don't know what year, but people would get surrogates and not talk about having surrogates. where now you see Kim Kardashian being really open about having surrogate.
Right.
You see more people being open about that, where I feel like before it was it was shamed because maybe they didn't want to ruin their bodies.
Yeah.
Or it was like a vanity thing.
Right.
Where Kim Kardashian, it was health reasons.
For sure.
But it's cool seeing things become more mainstream, and I see more popular YouTubers doing IVF.
Yes.
And sharing their journey. And people trust them and appreciate like seeing the raw and real story.
Absolutely. There's some YouTubers that film their whole process, which I thought was amazing.
There's one, her name is, well, she does makeup. It's Desi Perkins.
I love her.
She is stunning. Her husband is stunning.
Both of them are stunning.
Stunning.
No, I love her.
And she just had her baby like last week.
I know. Saw.
It was so cute.
She is so adorable. Yeah. So, I think there is no shame with this. And I know that it's really hard. I know a lot of ladies are like, I can't open up to my family about it. They don't understand it. And it's not really for them to understand.
No.
So if you want to go through this process, with you and your partner, I think that the most important people are you and your partner. If you're on board with it, and so is your partner, then that's all that matters. Nobody needs to be if you're creating a family for yourself, there's nobody else that needs to be involved. Even if you're trying to do it on your own. Just get a support system of people who back you, so that because it's already taxing. It's too much. It's draining. And a lot of ladies experience emotional roller coasters because, they feel like their body's working against them, that there's a problem with them, and there's no problem with you. Just get a support system that backs you. And if your family doesn't understand it, or people don't understand it, it's not for them to understand.
Do you think that there's any advice that you would give for women that feel like their partners don't understand what they're going through?
Yeah. So they're not. They're not.
They can't.
Injecting themselves,
Also, guys, they don't even get their period, and it sucks, and they don't even understand that.
They don't understand that. No, periods suck. I think going back to having a game plan before you start this process, it's really just kind of going, it's also important too, before you have, when you're about to go into labor too. Tell your partner what it is that you need in the toughest of times, the times that you just aren't going to be able to communicate properly, because your hormones are up and down. You don't know what to ask for. Especially when you're going to go into labor, you're going to be in pain. You can't talk through it. So before all those things happen, really get clear about what it is that you want your partner, and how you want your partner to assist you before shit hits the fan, because then you're not going to really be able to communicate your needs. So, if you're a person who likes to be held, if you are someone who wants your partner to be there during the injections, because that would make you feel safer and like you guys are both doing it together. If you want to be able to have a time in the day to talk it out, if you want, your space. For me, I loved doing the injections on my own because for me, I'm like a very energetic person. I feel like it was my time, right? My time to light some candles, listen to some music, drink my lemon balm tea, and then talk to my baby, And I just don't want Andrew a part of that.
I would get stressed out.
Do you know what I mean?
No,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want that either.
So it was like my time. And of course he was there if I needed him, if I'm like, if I needed him to do the injections, he would have been there. He would have been dramatic about it. He would have been like, oh my God, what do I need? So my ask was, this is my time and I need my time to do this on my own, and that was what I asked of him. And then when we would go to dinner, we would do an early dinner. We'd always do a dinner at 5:00, which kind of jump-started our 5:00 dinners. We would do a dinner at 5:00, and that was my time to connect with him because I knew I was going to end my night with some injections without him. So get clear on your ask, what it is that you need, and make sure you and your partner are on board, before you start this process.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I don't like to be... I feel like when people are hovering over me.
Yeah, because you're still trying to figure it out.
And if I'm doing something vulnerable or I feel vulnerable, I don't want to be hovered. And if, like, it's the same thing if I'm upset, I don't want someone on top of me.
Right.
I need my space.
Yes.
And my distance.
Same.
What else about IVF?
I mean, all in all, I had, like I said, especially now that I have a kid, I'm like, everything was fucking glorious. But,
The egg retrieval was not
a lot.
The egg retrieval was not good.
I almost forgot about that.
I did not.
Because you have a baby and you just forget about everything.
Luckily, I'm like I'm your second brain, so I'm the part that remembers everything, which isn't good for anyone else. But
so a lot of ladies have hard when they're doing injections, they feel like, oh my God, my hormones took control over me. I never really had that, I think, because I just set myself up with rituals that helped, So in order, for me to have my hormones or be a raging bitch or anything like that, I would have to then I set myself up. I didn't have Andrew around me. I set it up in the way that's going to calm me. I was watching my Kardashian, all of my gossip trash shows at night. That was what I needed for my soul. So I set myself up to feel at peace at all times. So definitely do that with or without your partner. So a lot of ladies struggle with the hormonal process, but egg retrievals are usually, a lot of times aren't an issue.
Yeah.
Well, I had 30, I'll just be upfront. I had 33 follicles. Now follicles are where they retrieve the eggs out of. They
that
don't
doesn't
really
mean you
know.
have 33 eggs.
No, it just means that because a lot of times, your eggs are maturing in these follicles. So they're going in, they're trying, the hormones are just trying to boost all your follicles so that there's more, so they can take eggs out of more follicles and see which ones are mature and whatever. So 33 follicles. So my ovaries were, and that was just from the last time we tested. Follicles grow obviously overnight. So by the time that I went in for surgery to do the extraction, my ovaries were huge. So I went home, medicine wore off, and it was the worst pain I've ever experienced.
It was so sad.
It was
so
I've
sad.
never been in so much pain, and I feel like I could take pain.
No, I was saying, you're not a baby, you're not weak, so if you're in pain, you are.
It was the worst pain. Andrew was out of town, as we said. Chrissy took me to my egg retrieval. Worst pain. Then and they give you Tylenol or something. I'm like, what the fuck is Tylenol going to do? So I tried to sleep it off in the middle of the night. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. now that I think about it, going through labor with Pitocin and, I think the ovary pain was a little, pretty much the same, actually.
No way.
Now that I think about it, it was so intense. The next day, my mom came over, and I was still trying to tough it out, because I called my doctor, and he's like, oh, no, it's, just take some Tylenol. It shouldn't be a problem. And I'm like, Tylenol? This is not normal. So later in the day, I couldn't take it anymore. My mom took me to the emergency room. They did an ultrasound, and they could just see my ovaries were
Are they so wait, once they take the eggs out, are they supposed to go back down to normal size?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. So no, not it takes time.
Okay.
But because they were so big, they were pressing on nerves.
Oh.
So the emergency room's like, okay, there's nothing that we can do. We'll give you some pain meds. I am not really good with pain meds. I get really nauseous from them. So that was fun. And then it took really 2 weeks until they finally started coming down. And I went to another doctor who ended up being my doctor, my baby doctor. And he even did an ultrasound 2 weeks later. And he's like, oh, yeah, they really did one on you. Because it was just my ovaries are still trying to go down.
Oh.
So that was not the funnest experience. But a lot of ladies have no problem after egg retrieval. Okay. So everyone's different.
What about... Well, do we want to talk about birth in another episode?
Yeah.
I was just curious about if you want to just do a little
Yeah.
teaser. What was it like giving birth during COVID-19?
Wow. I mean, again, the birthing story I definitely want to save, as I feel like it is something I'm still processing and want to process with women. You know, it's a very personal story.
Yeah.
And it's just something I want to keep sacred. But giving birth during COVID, it depends on where you're living right now. Most places are going through a second lockdown. Vegas opened up by the time, I was giving birth. They did not allow my doula and midwife in to the hospital. It was just one partner. Some places don't even allow one partner.
I could not even imagine.
And that is and a lot of my ladies, I'm sending you so much love, did it without their partners involved. And that is really tough. I couldn't imagine not having Andrew.
No.
So I had to push, with a mask on.
What?
I had to push with a mask on. So that was fun and something that I don't think any mom should ever do.
What?
You have to push.
Wait, meanwhile, people are complaining about wearing a mask to the grocery store.
Right.
Right. No.
Yes. So pushing with a mask on, that wasn't fun. And of course, there's a lot of other things that happened that made it difficult. But during a pandemic, when you're walking into the hospital, usually before pandemic, your partner's with you the whole time. And you can have your doula with you the whole time. At first, it was me by myself for 2 hours. And then once I got a room, then Andrew was able to meet me.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think what's kind of funny, though, you have so many family members who would all want to be there. So
I love you, family, but...
No, I was like, it's kind of a blessing in somewhat of a way because nobody was allowed to because you would have literally 50 people trying to be in the room with you while you're pushing.
Everyone. My mom was like, oh my goodness, I just wish I was there. I'm like, well, even if we didn't have pandemic, me and Andrew just wanted
but I can blame it on coronavirus.
But that was the one thing we had going for us. No, it's different for every city. And I'd actually like to know what's going on with women right now. You know, where are you? Where are you living? Did you have an experience? What were the hospital rules where you are? And, again, I'm sending my love to ladies who had to birth their child without support. I couldn't imagine.
No.
Yeah.
So. We should. We have a Facebook group. Yes. It hasn't been super active.
Now it's going to be.
It should be. So we'll put a link, whether you're watching or listening, we'll put a link in the description to join our Facebook group. If you want to follow Christal on Instagram, I would highly recommend it if you enjoy cute babies. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of the account. What other things do we have?
Well, I mean, and also if you guys want me to share my birth story,
I want to hear it.
Yeah, let me know in the comments below.
So you'd have that on iTunes or audio only?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and so if you guys go to the secret Facebook group, we'll put all the details there, and that's where I'll share my story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Do we have any more questions?
Not really. Can you think of anything?
No. How excited are you that we're back?
I'm so nervous.
You are?
Well, okay, before we started filming, I was saying to her, I'm shy. No, I don't come across as shy. Like, I come across as really bubbly. Everybody here calls me Sunshine. That's like my nickname.
Yeah.
But if it's like a group setting or I have to it's new experiences, I get shy and nervous.
Yeah.
So, but you're pushing me out of my comfort zone, so I appreciate it.
No, and I think that the ladies are going to get so much from you. I definitely do. You handle my whole life, and I do not trust. I'm a micromanager of micromanagers. And she out micromanages me, but in a good way. It's so, I don't know how I would have gotten through this year without you. And this is not.
Why
This is no
make me
bullshit.
cry? Don't make
This
me
is
cry.
no bullshit. We've gone through a lot this past year. It was
Yeah.
really, really tough. And I just think if anyone knows Chrissy, she loves hard, and she's just so, and like I call her the logistics queen, like I said, you just handle everything, and you always just want to take care of people.
Yeah.
And I just really feel blessed to have you in my life.
Thank
and I
you.
just am so happy I get to share you with these ladies, because I think that you just have so much to offer.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can't wait for them to learn from you.
Thank you so much. Oh my God, that was so nice.
I love you. If you guys are on audio, we just shared a hug. But if you guys,
But if you want to see it on video, go to
Right,
YouTube.
go to YouTube.
Every guy's like video.
No. So I'm excited. And yeah, you have so many life hacks, and just a lot of ladies who are, this is a perfect time. The pandemic has put people in a situation where they have to analyze their life.
Yeah.
They really have to think about what it is that they're doing, what it is that they want. A lot of times, most people lost their jobs.
No, I
they're
literally,
sitting-
every day I woke up and I'm like, I'm just grateful I have a job. It wasn't until probably like 2.5 months ago, because I come to work every day and I'm blessed because I get to see people that I love. Like, I genuinely love everybody that's at your house. So I feel lucky in that way. But then like 2.5 months ago, I was just like, holy shit, I'm so lonely.
Chrissy wasn't able to see her family. Her family lives all over the place, but mostly in Florida and
All my
Ohio,
best friends are in Florida.
Yes. And she wasn't able to see anyone.
I broke up with my boyfriend right before coronavirus began.
Couldn't see him.
No. Well, I broke up with him before, but
Yeah.
that's another story.
So she wasn't able to see anyone. So she was with me every day.
Never get sick
making
of
sure
it.
that I didn't die after coming home from the hospital. And just making sure our lives was, everything was organized, and this house, just managing this home. We built this house. For a lot of you, you guys know that this has been a long time coming. We've been building this house for like 97 years. And with a new house comes a lot of problems. And so after having a baby, Chrissy just like,
I'm like a construction manager.
she does it all.
It's terrifying.
She does it all. So I'm so excited for you ladies to learn from her. We will be having some discussions about dating, especially
Ooh.
dating in the pandemic season. Like, that was different. But also,
Not really.
No, right?
I just tend to get myself into interesting situations. Mm-hmm. So,
We'll just
coronavirus
leave
or
it at
not,
that.
I get myself into sticky situation. Or not sticky.
I mean, you liked it because you didn't want to see anyone anyways.
No, I kind of like being alone.
Yeah.
And I'm busy and I really value my alone time. Mm-hmm. That for me to want to spend time with someone, I really, really need to like them.
Yeah.
Because I really cherish my peace and quiet.
It's so true.
Yeah.
I wish I had that.
And what's interesting, because my last relationship was long distance, I actually kind of enjoyed it because I got the best of both worlds.
For sure.
And we were together for like 1.5 years, and it was beautiful because I got my time, I got my space, I got to work, which I love. And then when we saw each other, it was like a vacation every time.
Yeah.
And it was so exciting every time that I kind of enjoyed that.
I love that you say that, because a long distance relationship, that's one of the things I get asked about all the time, gets a bad rap. And I'm like, I think it's amazing if you make it work.
Honestly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But I was blessed because we got to see each other like every 3 weeks.
Right.
Where a lot of people, maybe it's they don't see someone for 7 months.
Right.
So then I can see
That's
that.
hard.
That's like a deployment or something. I could not imagine.
No, my sister-in-law is going through that
Yeah.
right now, and with 2 babies under toddler age. And that is just, again, kudos to all the strong mamas out there by themselves. Like, I can't even imagine. But long distance relationships with deployments, that's very hard.
So hard.
But stay tuned for more episodes of Talk, Listen, Change. We will take different topics, questions that you guys have, answer them here. We have just a lot of fun things that we want to cover.
I'm excited.
Yes, maybe some games to play.
Yes.
and really just covering things that matter to you. So I want you all, to look at this show as your resource. I don't like to, a lot of people like to label themselves in this industry. I'm a relationship coach for women, have been for many years, but I don't think I'm an expert. As you guys know, I'm going to be sharing my motherhood journey, and that is something new to me. And also, that transition in my own personal relationship has been difficult, as I am here helping women with relationships. So I don't ever want you to think that I have all of the answers, but I feel like Chrissy and I are able to help in any way that we can with our tips and advice, and even getting strategic about how certain things will help your life. So use this as your number one resource. We'll be here every Thursday. And if there's any topics that you guys want us to cover, comment below. Join our secret Facebook group. It is the Ladies Coach Babes on Facebook. And make sure you check out our show notes after every show on theladiescoach.com. We will insert the link down in the description below. And also, if you liked today's chat, please like, subscribe, let us know.
Give us a rating on iTunes.
Yeah.
Yeah, show us some love.
Show us some love. Or if there's some, helpful, advice.
Yeah, if someone's been through the IVF journey, I would love to read some comments on YouTube.
Yes, please.
And we'll reply to you.
Yes, we will be here. So thank you so much. Thank you, Chrissy.
Thank you for having
excited
me.
to do this show with you.
I was so nervous. I'm so happy now.
No,
Thank
me
you.
too. All right. Thank you so much, you guys. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and we love you.
Mwah.